Hi, third graders. Today we're going to do a lesson on telling time. Okay, so let me get my screen ready for you. But before we do that, I want to take a look at a word problem. Okay, so if you need a pencil and paper in front of you, go ahead and grab that. You can pause this video if you need to go grab it. I'm going to go ahead and read this problem for you. After I read the problem, you can go ahead and pause it, work through the problem. Okay. And then come back and we'll talk about it, okay? Max wants new carpet in his family room. His family room is a 9 feet by 12 feet rectangle. How much carpeting does he need to buy to cover his entire family room area? He also wants to buy new wall trim, which will surround the carpet. How many feet of trim should he buy perimeter? So go ahead and pause this video, work it out on your paper in front of you, and come back when you're ready. All right, let's go ahead and check through your work. This is your solution. Okay, it was a two-step problem, so you should have two different answers, one for the first question, one for the second question. Okay, so one was an area question, one was a perimeter question. So there you can see Max needs 108 feet of carpet to cover his family room, and then Max will need 42 feet of trim for the outside of the room, for the perimeter, okay? So if you need to pause this to check over your work, you can do that as well. We're going to go ahead and look at some time. Oh, wait, before that, if you ever want to look at some more word problems for you, there is a link. It's called Lesson 11, link number 1. This is Greg Tang word problems. So if you ever want to create some word problems and work on some more word problems, you can always do that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. So you can always go to this link and you can choose whether you want to work on some addition, subtraction word problems or some multiplication and division word problems. You get to choose. Okay, then you can choose what type of problem, whether you want to do an add to or a take from or a part whole, whatever type of problem you would like to do. And then you can choose what your unknown is, however you want to do. And then you could choose whether you want to just have one problem or whether you want to have a list. You can choose again. And then what numbers do you want to talk about? Do you want the numbers to be between 1 and 10, or do you want the numbers through 1 and 1,000? What would you like? And then you're going to click this generate button, and it's going to give you some word problems here. And then if you need some hints, you can always click the hint button. Okay, so it's going to pop up with a hint for you. If you ever want to check your answer, maybe you think the answer is 10. Okay, you're going to type in that 10, and you're going to say, hey, check my answer. And then it's going to say, not the right answer. And then if you're really struggling, or maybe you know the answer, and you're like, hey, yeah, I want to check my answer, and you say answer, and it'll give you that correct answer, and you can check that work for you, okay? So this is a great resource to always have some word problems. So if you ever want to work on some extra word problems, that's a great resource for you, okay? All right. So back to telling time. So at this time, you're going to pause this video and you're going to go to that link number 2. So it's called Lesson 11, link number 2. You're going to pause this video and you're going to watch a video about telling time and reading a clock, okay? Go watch that video and then come right back to me, and we're going to walk through a couple other things together. All right, so if you're back, you've watched that video on telling time and reading a clock, okay? So we're going to go ahead and move on. So I have 4 clocks here on the left, and we're going to connect it with the time on the right for us. So as we look at the first clock up here on the left, we notice that, I noticed that there's a small hand and there's a big hand. I see numbers on the clock. I see some big numbers here, and I see some little tick marks here on a clock, okay? A lot of times we see clocks with numbers that you can just read and you know exactly what time it is, often like this over here. However, it is really important for us to know how to read a clock like this as well. And so as we look at these clocks, we're going to match it up with the clock time over here, okay? So looking here, we always look at our hour hand first. Our hour hand is our small hand, okay? So whatever hour it points at, that's our hour. So here, or whatever number it points at, whatever number it points at, that's our hour. So here we're going to look at our 12. So that's our hour is 12, okay? Then our minute hand is the longer one. So we're going to look at our minute hand, which it points at 6. But that does not mean that it's 6 minutes, okay? It's not 12:06. Actually, it means that it increases by 5. So as we look at our big numbers here, it goes up by 5. So I'm going to count by 5s to get all the way to my minute hand. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this clock is showing 12 as the hour and 30 as the minute. And so 12:30 is what this clock is showing. So I would match this clock up with this time over here of 12:30. This one, I'm going to look at my hour hand again first, pointing at my the number of 1. So I am, my hour is 1, okay? Looking at my minute hand, it's pointed at the 9, but again, it's not 9 minutes. We have to count by 5s. So starting up here at the 12 at the top. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So my hour of 1 and my minutes of 45 makes my time 1:45. So down here at 1:45. Take a look at this one. See what you notice, see what you can figure out. So I noticed that our hour hand is pointed at the 7. Okay. What does that tell us? Yeah. It tells us that our hour is 7. And think about our minutes. You could count by 5 starting at your 12, right? 5, 10, 15. Yeah. So your hour is 7 and your minutes is 15. You're at 7:15. So we're over here at 7:15 for that time. Okay. Take a look at the last one there. See what you can do. Using what you know from this last one, see if you can connect those two. What's your hour? Yep, our hour hand is pointed at our 4. Okay. And our minute hand, it looks very similar to this clock up here. So what can we notice? Yeah, when our minute hand is pointed at our 3, okay, like just both of these are, our minutes is 15. Okay, so we're here at 4:15. All right. All right, I'm going to show you this clock. This clock is a little different than the last clocks that we've looked at here. I noticed a couple different differences. You might notice that we have a red hand instead of 2 black hands, okay? I see one smaller hand like we did the last one, right? That's a similarity. We have here a long one like we did the last clock as well, okay? So I'm looking at my hour hand first, noticing it's pointed at that 7, okay? I also noticed this minute hand is pointing down at that 6, okay? I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get that I can count by 5s, but what's a more effective way? Instead of counting by 5s, could I make this a more effective way? What could I do? Could you come up with a more effective way? Yeah, well, using what you know from the last one, how about what do we know about the 3? Well, if our minute hand was pointed at that 3, we know that would be how many minutes? Yeah, 15 minutes. So if we go from 15, we can continue to count on, right? We can count up. So 15 to 20, 25, and then 30. So we're here at 7 and then 30. So our clock shows 7:30. Yeah. Okay, take a look at this one. This one's a little tricky, but see what you notice. See what you can figure out. Our hour. Where's our minute hand? What do you notice? First, looking at that hour hand, what's our hour? Yeah, 2. Our hour is pointed at 2. Okay. And then here I notice, what do you notice about the minute hand? Yeah, it's pointed up here at that 12, all the way up here. But if I start counting before I get to that 5 is at the 1. So what's before 5? Yeah, 0. If I had our hour was at 1 and our minute was here at the 11, it would be 1:55. And so then I'm going 1:56, 1:57, 1:58, 1:59, and then it's all of a sudden 2 o'clock because it goes all the way to 60 minutes, all the way through the clock, right? And then we're at 2 o'clock, okay? So this clock says 2 o'clock. Try this one on your own. See what you can do. See what you notice. See what you can figure out. See what you could do on your own. Okay, look at that hour hand first. If you're stumped, look at that hour hand. Okay, where's our hour? Pointed at that 3. Okay, so we know that our hour is 3. Now that minute. Okay. Think about an effective way. What's an effective way to figure out our minutes? If we don't know, we can always start at that 12, right? And count by 5s. But is there a more effective way? Here's something I was noticing. What if our minute hand was down here at that 6? Kind of like this one was. Down here. I know the clock was all the way around as 60 minutes, right? And if it's down here, that's kind of like halfway, right? Do you agree? If my clock was like a fraction, we've talked about fractions a lot, and if our clock was a circle like a fraction, and we cut it in half, like up and down like this, and I shaded all the way because it's been from here all the way here, so it's gone it's halfway, right? It's gone halfway down. And so it's halfway. How many minutes has it gone? If the total is 60, how many minutes has it gone? Yeah, it's gone 30 minutes. So how can we use that knowledge to help us with this question? If it were here, it'd be 30. How could that help us here? I'm thinking if you had 5 more from here, because if it was here 30, and 5 more would be 35. So I have my hour of 3, and then 5 more, or my minutes of 5 more than 30 is 35. So this clock is showing 3:35. The last thing I want to show you is there's lots of links linked for you today. These are just different games that you can go ahead and play that are help you work on reviewing time. Okay. The last one here, Brain Pop Jr., is Parts of a Clock. This is a video for you if you want to take a look at it about talking about clocks and just looking at a variety of different clocks. Okay, there's lots of really fun games here that you can just link and click the link, and it'll take you directly to it. Okay, so these are called Lesson 11 Link 3 or Lesson 11 Link 4, whatever you would like to go to. We've called them specific things like that. So then on the website, you can find them pretty easily. All right. I've had so much fun with you guys, third graders, today, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.